Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your hats because there's some serious buzz coming out of Vegas lately. And it's got everything to do with the Raiders' struggles and the Bears' potential to take a giant leap forward. The whispers in the league suggest that the Raiders, currently sitting at a disappointing 3-10, are considering moving on from one of their most valuable assets, Max Crosby. And if you're a Bears fan, you know how game-changing a player like Crosby can be, especially when the team is looking to bolster its pass rush and take a run at the NFC North crown. The Raiders, man, they're in a tough spot. Their defense has been leaking points, giving up around 30 points a game in 2025, and their overall record doesn't reflect the talent they've got on paper. It's clear they're in rebuild mode, and apparently they're not shy about making big moves to shake things up. The buzz is that they're eyeing a multi-pick trade, possibly involving a young wide receiver and a significant chunk of cap space, around $19 million, to free up room for a quarterback hunt. But what's really catching everyone's attention is Max Crosby, the relentless edge rusher who's been a bright spot in their defense, and the potential to send him packing to the Bears. Now, let's talk about Crosby himself. This guy is a true warrior on the field. He's got an impressive PFF overall grade of 89. 8 in 2025, making him one of the top edge defenders in the league. His pass rush grade is even more eye-opening at 90. 6, ranking him 4th among all edge rushers, and he's been a nightmare for quarterbacks with 10 sacks so far, along with 48 solo tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and 28 tackles for loss in just 13 games. When you look at his career stats, Crosby has accumulated over 72 sacks, more than 220 tackles, and over 380 pressures, with a win rate that's in the top 6 league-wide at around 30%. That's elite production, folks. Even with an injury scare, a sprained ankle in Week 4, he's been a full-time player, logging 96% of snaps, and he's still showing the same relentless motor. Standing tall at 65 and weighing 255 pounds, Crosby has often been compared to the likes of Myles Garrett, but with an added edge in endurance and consistency. What makes Crosby even more appealing for the Bears is his recent performance and stats. He's amassed 118 pressures this season, ranking among the top 4 in the league with a pressure rate of around 24%. His EPA per sack is at 27, which shows how impactful he is when he's rushing the passer. Just in November, he's already on pace for about 2 sacks a game, including a standout performance against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 9, where he recorded 5 sacks and 10 tackles. That kind of production would fit perfectly into the Bears' revamped defense, especially considering their current pass rush situation. Now, why would the Raiders even consider trading Crosby? Well, the numbers tell part of the story. Their cap space is tight, about $7 million, making it hard to keep their star players happy and still rebuild effectively. They're also ranking 30th in DVOA on defense, and with a 0-5 start, their chances of contending this year are basically non-existent. The team's owner and front office are reportedly feeling the pressure, especially with the uncertainty surrounding quarterback Jimmy O'Connell, who's thrown only 14 touchdowns this season. With injuries piling up on their offensive line and the team's overall rebuild in full swing, moving Crosby makes strategic sense to acquire draft picks and young talent, particularly on offense, to jumpstart their future. From the Bears' perspective, this potential trade could be a game-changer. Chicago, sitting at an impressive 9-4 and boasting a top 11 pass rush ranking, PFF grade of 74. 0, is already showing signs of becoming a legitimate playoff contender. Their duo of Montez Sweat, who's already racked up 11 sacks, and a potential new addition like Crosby would turn the pass rush into an absolute nightmare for offenses across the league. Imagine Crosby and Sweat disrupting quarterbacks week after week. Teams would struggle to find protection, and the Bears' defense could become one of the most feared units in the NFL. The stats back this up. The Bears' run defense has improved, limiting opponents to 105 rushing yards per game, a 16% increase in stops, and their overall pass rush pressure has soared, with Crosby's addition likely to boost their sack total by at least 18%. The combination of Crosby's relentless edge presence and Sweat's consistency could elevate the defense to a top 7 unit, translating into more turnovers, more sacks, and fewer points allowed. As fans, we all know how critical a dominant pass rush is in today's NFL, especially in playoff scenarios where every sack and pressure can turn the tide of a game. Now, looking at the bigger picture, a trade for Crosby could also impact the Bears' Super Bowl odds. Currently at plus 1,200, some betting sites are showing odds improving to plus 650 if they manage to land a player of Crosby's caliber. The X factor here is his pressure rate in the playoffs. During the postseason, Crosby's pressure rate jumps by 24%, and that kind of peak performance could be what pushes the Bears over the edge. It's no secret that a fierce pass rush is often the difference maker in the postseason, and adding Crosby would give the Bears a true game wrecker on the edge, capable of changing games single-handedly. But let's not forget, this isn't just about adding a star. It's about building an entire defensive empire in Chicago. The idea of assembling a front seven that can dominate for years to come isn't far-fetched if the Bears pull the trigger on this deal. Crosby's presence would set the tone for the entire unit, making their defense not just good but feared. It would be reminiscent of the Khalil Mack trade in 2018, which transformed the Bears' defense into one of the league's best almost overnight. The difference now is Crosby's endurance, consistency, and youth. He's only 28 in the prime of his career and still has plenty of room to grow. Of course, the Raiders are in a tough spot, and their hesitation might be real. But if they do decide to move Crosby, it could be one of the most impactful trades in recent NFL history, especially for a team like the Bears that's been working hard to reestablish its defensive dominance. The potential fit is perfect. Crosby's style, his stats, his relentless motor align with what the Bears need to take that next step. And with the NFC North becoming more competitive every year, bolstering the pass rush with a player like Crosby could be the difference between a first-round exit and a deep playoff run. Now, folks, imagine the scene. The Soldier Field crowd roaring as Crosby lines up on the edge, ready to unleash hell on the quarterback. The division rivals would be shaking in their boots, knowing that Chicago isn't just a playoff contender but a true Super Bowl favorite in the making. That's the kind of impact a player like Crosby can have, not just on the field but across the entire franchise, elevating everyone's game and creating a culture of relentless pursuit of excellence. It's the kind of move that could define a new era for the Bears, one built on a fierce, unstoppable defense that's as intimidating as it is talented. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think the Bears should pull the trigger and bring Crosby to Chicago? Would that send a message to the rest of the league that the Bears are back and ready to contend? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. The future looks bright, and with moves like this, we might just be on the brink of something special.